Hello friends. Today our topic is Darwinism, theory or philosophy. We will explore this topic in the light of science and scientific evidence and argument. Let's first understand what Darwinism is. Darwinism. This is a theory that suggests all living beings evolve and change over time. It means that those creatures that have traits helping them survive well in their environment continue to live and pass these traits onto their offspring. On the other hand, creatures that cannot adapt gradually die out. Through this process, known as natural selection, new species emerge while weaker species disappear. According to this theory, birds evolved from dinosaurs. Dinosaurs grew feathers and started flying, turning into birds. Similarly, horses evolved from dog-like creatures. Fish came from land animals, and humans evolved from apes, meaning apes evolved into humans over time. The theory suggests that all living beings have evolved from a common ancestor. This theory is also called the theory of natural selection or the theory of evolution. Today, this theory is taught in schools, colleges, and universities almost as if it were a scientific fact. Now, let's look at Darwinism in the light of science and understand what its reality is. Darwinism is not actually a scientific theory. Rather, it is a philosophy. For a scientific theory, it is essential that a hypothesis can go through a scientific process and meet the standards of that process. What is the scientific process? The scientific process consists of two essential steps. 1. Observation. 2. Experimentation. In the scientific world, no hypothesis can become a scientific theory without observation and experimentation. Every hypothesis that has become a scientific theory has done so by fulfilling these criteria. For example, the growth of plants depends on sunlight. Initially, this was a hypothesis, but it became a scientific theory because observation showed that plants exposed to sunlight are green and healthy, while plants kept in darkness dry up and die. Later, this was tested in labs repeatedly through experiments, and the hypothesis was proven correct. Plant growth indeed depends on sunlight. Therefore, this hypothesis is now a scientific fact. In short, it is an established principle that no hypothesis can become a scientific theory without observation and experimentation. Now, let's ask ourselves, does Darwinism meet the requirements of the scientific process and methodology? The answer is a clear no. Darwinism can neither be observed nor experimented upon. No one has ever observed evolution happening, and no scientist has ever seen one species turning into another or been able to create a new species in a lab. This is practically impossible. So the question arises, how can Darwinism be considered a scientific theory without any scientific process? The answer is that some biased scientists, atheists, capitalists, and anti-religion people present this anti-religion philosophy as science to undermine religion. Since historically scientists have suffered under the oppression of religious authorities, these anti-religion groups use the weak Darwinism philosophy as a means of religious hatred disguised as science, despite the fact that Darwinism does not meet the criteria of a scientific theory. So, friends, this is the reality of Darwinism. It is not a scientific concept or theory, but rather a philosophy. Friends, if you want to watch more videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.